Welcome back to Frontline Influence. I'm your host, Nick. If you've been in leadership for more than a week, you've heard the excuses. I didn't know that was my job. The other shift didn't finish their part. I was going to do it, but I got busy, etc. In the world of frontline management, there is a massive gap between what we expect to happen and what actually happens. Most managers try to bridge the gap with more rules, more emails, or more shouting. But none of these things work long term. If you want a team that performs when you aren't looking, a team that owns their mistakes and hits their targets, you don't need more rules. You need radical accountability. Today we're going to define exactly what that means. We're going to talk about why most leaders are actually afraid of accountability, and I'm going to give you 3 real-world examples of how this looks on the floor. This isn't just about holding people's feet to the fire. It's about creating a culture where everyone, including you, owns the outcome. Welcome to Frontline Influence. I'm Nick. I've spent over a decade leading on the front line, and I know exactly what it takes to get results in the real world. No corporate fluff, just practical leadership, accountability, and communication skills for those of us on the ground. This is how we lead from the front. So let's get into it. So what does radical accountability actually mean? In most workplaces, accountability is seen as a consequence. It's something that happens after someone messes up. You get held accountable, which usually just means you've gotten in trouble. Radical accountability flips that on its head. It's the proactive commitment to take 100% ownership of your results, your actions, and your team's performance, regardless of the circumstances. The radical part comes from the scope. It means there are no excuses. If the truck is late, if the power goes out, if the new hire quits, you don't look for someone to blame. You look for a solution you can control. It's moving from the bottom of the ladder, where people wait and see, identify blame, or claim ignorance, to the top of the ladder, where people own it, solve it, and do it. On the front line, radical accountability means the buck doesn't stop with your boss. It stops with you. So why is this so important? Because on the front line, we don't have the luxury of corporate spin. We have deadlines, customers, and physical products. When accountability is missing, 3 things happen. The slow burn of resentment. Your high performers see the low performers getting away with doing nothing. Eventually, your A players either quit or they stop caring. Safety risks. On a frontline site, a lack of accountability isn't just a budget issue, it's a safety issue. If someone else was supposed to check the safety latch, people get hurt. The victim culture. If you, as the leader, blame the home office or upper management for a bad policy, you are teaching your team to be victims. You're telling them that they aren't in control of their own success. Radical accountability changes the atmosphere. It creates a no-blame zone. When people know that the standard is the standard and that everyone, including the manager, is held to it, it actually reduces stress. People know exactly where they stand. So how can we improve? Today, we're going to focus on the 4 pillars. You can't just walk in tomorrow and yell accountability at people. You have to build it. Here are the 4 pillars to improving accountability on your team. 1, set clear expectations, or what I like to call the what. You cannot hold someone accountable for a standard they didn't know existed. Most performance issues are actually clarity issues. The strategy we're going to use here is called the rule of 3. Tell them what needs to be done, ask them to repeat it back in their own words, and then confirm the deadline. If they can't explain the win, they can't achieve the win. The second pillar is radical self-accountability, or the who. This is the hardest part. You have to be the mirror. If you are 5 minutes late to a meeting, you can't write someone else up for being 5 minutes late to their shift. The strategy? When something goes wrong, your first question shouldn't be, who did this? It should be, how did I fail to set this person up for success? Did I train them? Did I give them the tools? Did I follow up? The third pillar is consistent feedback, or the when. Accountability is not a quarterly review. It's a daily pulse. The strategy? Use a micro correction. If you see a shelf stocked incorrectly, don't wait for the end of the week. Fix it with the employee right then. It's not a write-up. It's a course correction. And the fourth pillar, meaningful consequences, or the why. Accountability without consequences is just a suggestion. Consequences don't have to be negative. The strategy: celebrate the wins loudly. When someone takes ownership and fixes a problem without being asked, make sure the whole team knows. Conversely, when the standard isn't met, there must be a conversation every single time. Let's take a look at how this plays out in real life. Here are 3 examples of radical accountability. These are 3 scenarios that I've seen time and time again. Example number 1 is the "it's not my job" scenario. Imagine a spill in a high traffic aisle. A regular team member walks by because they aren't in the maintenance department. When radical accountability is implemented, the team member stops, secures the area, and cleans it up, or stays there until help arrives. They don't look for who's responsible. They take responsibility for the safety of the customer in that moment. As a leader, you acknowledge that ownership immediately. Example number 2, the missed deadline. A supervisor forgets to submit the payroll hours on time. Regular manager: the software is glitching and I had 3 callouts, so I just couldn't get to it. The radical accountability manager would answer this way: I missed the deadline because I didn't prioritize it early enough in the shift. That's on me. I've already called HR to see how we can expedite the checks, and I've set an alarm for 8 a.m. every Tuesday so this never happens again. Example number 3, the peer-to-peer check. One employee sees another employee skipping a safety step, like not wearing gloves or safety goggles. In a radical accountability culture, the first employee says, "Hey man, put your gloves on. I don't want you getting hurt, and we don't want to lose our safety streak." Why this works? In a radical accountability culture, the team holds each other to the standard because they realize they all win or lose together. So what are the benefits and why do we do this? When you commit to this, your life as a leader gets easier. You stop being a babysitter. Your team starts solving problems before they reach your desk. Your reputation grows. Upper management notices the leader whose departments just work. And your team grows. People want to work with someone who is a fair and consistent leader. Radical accountability isn't about being mean. It's about being clear. It's about giving your team the dignity of being held to a high standard. So here's my challenge for you this week. The next time something goes wrong in your shift, I want you to resist the urge to find a scapegoat. I want you to ask, what part of this do I own? Start there and watch how quickly the culture around you begins to change. I'm Nick, and this is Frontline Influence. Take ownership, lead with integrity, and let's get to work.